stupid niggas. They say it's wrong, but we doing right. We moving right, we in a loop, ducking, moving like shit. From noon to night, it's just the goons and the crew is tight. What you doing tonight? Just me and you, and the mood is right. It's a loop with Sprite, cause we out, yeah. And my team always getting that green, yeah. Cause we out, yeah. And my team always getting that green, yeah. Cause we out, yeah.
Minute Made high, whip it up. Treat beef like cows in slaughterhouse. That's why we gripping up. Doing dirt on my own. Ain't no bitching up. Counting money talk collection going on in my pocket. Stunting when I buy the bar. Change with Ted Dawson. He brushed me wrong. I have him slipping, grazing in the grass. She got an all your body easy slipping when I smash. She wanna feel the fire, Peebo Bryson. I tell her Jula pick up the pieces on this average white band. I see mixed brown.
Her every single day, doing everything you can imagine. It was one of the most brutal cases I've ever read about. And then they decided to cut her head off, boil it, and then put it inside of a Hello Kitty mermaid doll. And it was only discovered because a 13-year-old that they were also torturing in the same building went to the police saying that fans' ghost was haunting her. And she led them right to the Hello Kitty doll. About this case too, they were charged with manslaughter, not murder, but they still faced life. They couldn't convict them of murder because not enough of her body was remaining for them to even have sufficient evidence against them. That is how badly they tortured her. They burned her. They did everything. They put her in acid. This story goes much deeper too. Fan never had a great life. She was abandoned by her parents, lived in an orphanage, got into prostitution, and then ended up as a nightclub hostess trying to get her life back together when all of this happened. There's so much more to her story. I can make a long TikTok video if you guys want me to. Let me know in the comments. There's also a long video on my YouTube page and some more on my TikTok page. I said it before and I'll say it again. This is like the worst true crime story I've ever read about in terms of like brutality and torture.
The viral evil queen from Disneyland that you've seen all over the internet has just been fired by Disneyland. Sabrina Von B, who has played the iconic evil queen at Disneyland, where people would literally come right up to her to hopefully get her to say something that they could record, has just made a TikTok announcing that they have fired her and let her go, and now she's moving on from Disneyland. She started playing the character at 18 years old all the way until she was 26, where she made a TikTok in December saying that she had officially left Disneyland. Now, she went on to do an interview with People magazine that just now came out, and that's why everyone is learning about this. But the TikTok that she made last month has millions of views, and now she's over 250,000 followers on TikTok, with literally every video she makes going viral right now. So even though she's left Disneyland, because of how popular she got online and how popular her social media is getting, she will not have any problem finding a job either on Broadway, some sort of acting job. She is going to be just fine. But a lot of people are saying this is a huge L for Disneyland because they should have never let her go, because they were literally getting people coming to the park just to see her every time.
The biggest secret about Lady Gaga isn't the character that she's about to play in Wednesday season 2, but rather the crazy theory that she only became famous because she stole the identity of a dead friend. Before she was Mother Monster, Lady Gaga was just Stephanie Germanotta, talented but still figuring out her own style in New York City. That's when she met Lena Morgana, a singer-songwriter from Brooklyn. Lena was bold, edgy, and already had some songs with very dark theatrical vibes. In fact, the two girls even collaborated on a couple tracks together. Gaga was one of the background vocalists on some of her demos. But unfortunately, in June of 2008, everything changed forever. Lena had died from falling off of the roof of an apartment building in Brooklyn, and she was only 19 years old. Very tragic. Now here's where the theory comes in. Just months later, Stephanie reemerged as Lady Gaga. The girl next door look was gone, and it was replaced by sky-high platform shoes, avant-garde fashion, and lyrics that felt hauntingly similar to Lena's lyrics. And if you look at photos of the two singers side by side with Lady Gaga's 2008-2009 era, the resemblance is really uncanny. But I will also note the girls kind of look similar, but I mean the photos don't lie. People then started whispering online, was she honoring her influence, or did she end up taking something more? And remember, this is just a theory. This is just for entertainment purposes. We're just having fun here. People started pointing to Lady Gaga's music videos and thought a lot of them had cryptic messages in them. Like, Paparazzi's music video is about a woman being killed and then reborn, echoing Lena's death potentially. And then in the Bad Romance music video, there are moments of control and possession and transformation, almost like Gaga is stepping into someone else's identity. People also continued to comment about how their brand overall and their fashion choices were very similar. Like before Lena's passing, she wore a lot of like gothic glamour styled clothes with like black leather and stud. And Lena's mother had even publicly admitted that when I look at Gaga, I see Lena. And so there are theories out there that Gaga took Lena's energy and amplified it for herself. But do I believe that Lady Gaga stole someone's soul? No, that is not reasonable. But the timing and the style evolution and just like the parallels in the music are very chilling. You know, artists are often shaped by people around them. And when someone dies young, I do feel that their creative spirit can like live on in another person. It's such a shame that she passed away so young though, and I wish nothing but the best for her family. Follow for more.
Josh said that he was grabbing McDonald's one night after work. While ordering, he noticed something strange. Two voices talking at once through the speaker. He said that he shrugged it off as a glitch, but when he pulled up to the drive-thru window, he said that the cashier noticed his bracelet that said Jesus. Suddenly, according to Josh, the man's eyes went completely black. His teeth sharpened and his whole face twisted. Josh yanked his card back and sped off. He said that to this day, he still wonders if it was just exhaustion or something real.
About you, and it's no one else like you. It's positive vibes only.
Hantavirus is a virus transmitted mainly from rodents to humans.
It's the same rare disease that is blamed on the death of Betsy Arakawa, the wife of late actor Gene Hackman, last year. Dr. Kavita Patel says symptoms can take days to appear.
It first manifests with like a cough or shortness of breath or something that's pulmonary, sometimes a fast heart rate, often with a fever. And as the virus kind of gets attack of the body, you can see other symptoms, including sepsis.
The World Health Organization says that while rare, hantavirus may spread between people.
Native legends you might not know. The legend of the little people. I've noticed all around the world, almost every culture and every tribe has their own version and names for them. Here is what I was told about the little people growing up, is that they are small spirits that look like little versions of us. They are very mischievous and love to play tricks like hiding things on people, and are drawn to shiny items, and they will sometimes maybe even leave behind some gifts for you if they like you. Other things I've heard is that they might even take you or your children away if found alone in the woods late at night, or if the child is not being properly taken care of. Sometimes if a child comes across them, they will make them promise, if they don't tell anyone that they saw them, they will one day come back and help them. I'll be doing a more in-depth dive into the legends of the little people, as well as my very own experience. So if you like videos like this, be sure to like and follow my page, my YouTube, and podcast at Sacred Cree, where I tell all sorts of spooky, scary stories and legends. See you there.
This case was specifically requested by a family member, and I wanted to give a trigger warning as this does involve the death of a child. On September 22, 2018, paramedics found 5-year-old Jaden Curtis unresponsive at his home where he lived with his dad and stepmom, Royce and Melanie Curtis, in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Melanie was looking after him along with her 3 other children that night when she claimed that Jaden wanted a bath. She initially said that she put him into the bath, left the room, and when she returned 20 minutes later to check on him, she found him face down in the bathtub and submerged in water. She claimed she then tried to revive him as water was coming out of his nose and mouth, but when nothing seemed to be working, she called the paramedics. But when paramedics arrived, they immediately started seeing major inconsistencies with Melanie's story. For starters, Jaden's hair was completely dry and he was fully dressed in dry clothes. When asked about this, Melanie said that she had dried Jaden and dressed him so that he would be warm when he woke up. Upon further investigation, fresh bruising and red marks were found on Jaden's neck that resembled finger marks. Jaden was airlifted to the University of New Mexico Hospital in Albuquerque, where he was pronounced brain dead, which sadly led to his death 3 days later. A full medical examination on Jaden's body showed severe injuries on his head, neck, and body that were consistent with strangulation. This examination also concluded that no water was found in Jaden's lungs. Police quickly became involved, and after questioning Melanie, she confessed to getting angry with Jaden and strangling him to death. She stated that she, quote, hadn't meant to choke him that hard, end quote. Police found multiple photos on Melanie's phone showing that she was likely physically abusing Jaden in the weeks leading up to his death. The photos show Jaden with red marks across his face and deep scratches on his neck. Jaden's teachers were concerned about the marks on his neck that they questioned Melanie about it, but her response was that he suffered an allergic reaction from a recent dental visit, and that his bruises were from falling at the dentist after being given laughing gas. What's even more infuriating is that just 2 days before Jaden was murdered, he was hospitalized for a broken collarbone and a fractured nose. This prompted an investigation with the New Mexico Children, Youth, and Families Department, who then sent a cross-referral to the Santa Fe Police Department. However, the police department stated that the officer who receives those emails doesn't work on Fridays and wouldn't have seen it until Monday, but by then, Jaden had already passed away. But there are reportedly multiple cases in New Mexico's CYFD system involving Jaden. Melanie was arrested and charged with child abuse resulting in death. However, it's been 3 years, and her trial keeps getting postponed. This is due to disputes in her mental health examination to see if she is competent to stand trial. Jaden was a bright, caring, respectful little boy who loved playing Dragon Ball Z. It's been 3 years since anybody has gotten to see this beautiful little boy. For some reason, there is seemingly very little progress in this case. Jaden deserves justice.
This is one of the best recent serial killer movies ever. The movie Trap centers on a father Cooper who takes his teenage daughter to a massive pop concert, something that feels like a normal, almost wholesome night out. The arena is packed, the energy is high, and everything seems exactly how it should be. But almost immediately, something feels off. There's too much security, too many police, and too much control. As Cooper starts paying attention, he realizes the concert isn't just a concert, it's a setup. Law enforcement has surrounded the entire venue, quietly turning this into a trap designed to capture a dangerous serial killer known as the Butcher. But the real shift comes when you understand the situation from a different angle, because Cooper isn't trapped with the killer, he is the killer. From that point on, the film turns into a tense, claustrophobic game of cat and mouse. What makes the film stand out is its concept. The entire story unfolds in one crowded, contained setting. The tension comes from watching the predator become the hunted. And it flips perspective, because you're following the killer, not the victims. It leans heavily into suspense and control, where every decision matters, every movement is watched, and the biggest danger isn't just getting caught. It's losing control in a place where there's nowhere to run. So if this sounds interesting to you, then go watch the movie Trap now.
About you, and it's no one else like you is what they're getting. Positive vibes only. Shout out to King Saul's boss in the build about you, and it's
Sauce the boss, yo, Sauce the boss, of course.
This is one of the darkest images I think I've seen in a documentary. This is a photo of 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart taken at a party just months after she was kidnapped from her bed by this guy. And in this photo, she's about 20 to 30 minutes away from her parents' home. She was repeatedly brought out in public near where she was kidnapped, but no one ever knew it was her because of what her captor made her wear while out. Netflix just released their documentary on the Elizabeth Smart kidnapping, and it really highlights how close she was to home for the majority of the 9 months she was kidnapped, and how she was not saved because law enforcement continually failed her. Also, I cover stuff that's dark but interesting and have a lot of documentary recs if you want to follow along. Like in 2002 when she was kidnapped, I didn't realize how close she was to home. Like you can see where her home is labeled down at the foothills of the mountain, and you can also see up here the camp that she was brought to in the middle of the night. She was taken when this man, who called himself Emmanuel, approached her father in public saying that he was a handyman in need of work. But that ended up being a lie. It turns out he had seen Elizabeth while she was out with her family, became obsessed with her, thought that she should be one of his wives, and he approached her father so that he could get her address. And her father agreed to hire him and brought him into their home. But photos like this are a scary reminder of how close she came to being rescued if people had only asked more questions. There was a time that an officer approached her in public but was scared to ask her to take off her head dressings because he he thought it would violate her right to religious freedom. And so he just left her. Let me know if you've seen the documentary. And then also on my podcast Clues, we cover this case and we get a little bit more into the close calls that she had with law enforcement. So I think it's a good companion piece to listen to as you watch the documentary.
Sauce the boss, yo, sauce the boss, of course. Send the sauce.
Someone just absolutely smashed Mr. Beast's YouTube world record, and Jimmy has already responded. For 9 days straight, this 23-year-old YouTuber from Poland streamed from his apartment, setting a staggering new world record for the most money ever raised for charity by a creator. $70 million. But the craziest part is how he did it, because for comparison, when Mr. Beast broke the record, raising $40 million for Team Water, he essentially got every massive creator in the world to not only donate, but also spread awareness. Whereas Latvogan didn't. Bro simply decided to start this fundraiser after hearing a cancer diss track recorded by a Polish rapper with an 11-year-old leukemia patient. And it was her story who inspired this campaign. And so he decided to set out with a small goal of raising $140,000, which he ended up shattering in a matter of hours. And over the next few days, things got so insane that at one point at its peak, it was viewed by 1.4 million people simultaneously, which reportedly became the most watched live broadcast globally at that point. And by day 9, they had raised over $70 million for the Cancer Fighters Foundation. And the former record holder himself responded on X by saying, "Love it when people use their platform for good."
In the 90s, there was a rumor going around the elementary schools of Chicago, Illinois. The rumor was that there was a creepy man dressed up as a clown. They called him Homie the Clown. Now, this wasn't just an ordinary clown. He was seen driving around in a white van trying to lure in kids with money and candy. Different variations of the story say that he was a kidnapper, and in others, he was a rapist. But in all the variations, Homie left a mark on the kids of Chicago, Illinois. The rumor was so big that even newspapers were being published about it. And after that whole fiasco, everything stopped. There were no more reports, no more articles, nothing. But one thing was for certain. Homie did exist. He not only frightened the kids, but the parents of them. Parents were scared to let their children walk the streets alone, and that's how Homie left his mark.
My life, son.
Sauce the boss.
18-year-old
birthday. Everybody wish him happy birthday.
Oh, this is big right here, y'all. Everybody wish Sauce, the official boss, happy birthday, man.
Oh, man.
Let's go. Let's see it in the timeline.
You know, it's a beautiful day.
I like to
down, just get you a
I like to wish
just light
Sauce.
up. Can't fire you, Mr. Handrod. Can't greet him with two, only the third eye. Killer vision, PSER, Red Hospital. Let me on the track. Accidents and operas. Conscious, unconscious. Flow riding on my train. Denzel, Chris Pine, unstoppable. Albert Einstein. Imagination is more important than knowledge, therefore I'm flying off the tracks. Extraterrestrial blunt, I got it on my lab. When I land soul train line, hop up on my dad. They fear what they don't understand. I forgive them cause they don't really know no better. Hope let them walk on water. I'm dancing in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean with a polo sweater. How bad do you want success? I was holding my breath unconsciously. The conscious me woke up and came up for air. I turned 1 through 6 into the boom, but ain't dancing with child. I guaranteed I'm in the